Here are 6 of my biggest tips for a freshman going to the University of Pennsylvania. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, it's going to be slightly different from my usual vlogs. It's going to be a video solely dedicated to a freshman's guide to the University of Pennsylvania. So just for some context, I am currently a sophomore at the University of Pennsylvania. Well, was a sophomore. I just finished sophomore year. I go to the Wharton school. I'm studying marketing and finance, and I thought this video would be really helpful considering it's the summertime and a lot of you guys are going to be going to college next year. And this video is going to be dedicated solely to the University of Pennsylvania, but some of the things I'm going to be talking about can be applied to multiple different colleges as well. As I'm reflecting on the past 2 years, there are a couple things that I wish I personally knew as a freshman entering college, and specifically at Penn, because it can be a very overwhelming and stressful process. So I've compiled 6 of my top tips to give you guys. If you guys find this video helpful, I'd be more than happy to do a series, so definitely let me know in the comments if you want this to continue. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. Number 1, the dorms. I'm only going to be talking about 3 dorms, which are the quintessential freshman dorms. So that's going to be the Quad, Hill, and K-Check. Starting with the Quad, here are some of the pros. The pros is that Quad has been renovated. REPI, this year was the first year that students lived in the new renovated REPI dorms, and the renovations are actually very nice. The facilities are brand new. There's lots of different social spaces. The rooms are a lot nicer. The bathrooms definitely a lot cleaner. This year they were renovating Ware, which is right in the center of Quad. I believe renovations for Ware will be completed by the time the new semester begins, which will be really nice because one of the best things about the Quad is the social aspect to it because of Ware itself. Ware is in the middle of Quad, and in it is McClellan, which is an Asian fusion dining hall. So they have multiple different options such as sushi, udon, chicken bowls, which are definitely the most popular one. Where there's also a huge greenery area, so a lot of students, when the weather is nice, they'll grab their food, they'll go outside, have picnics and study together. It's really the quintessential college experience, and that was one of my favorite things as a freshman. Another pro of the Quad is that it's in a central location on campus. So it's right there in the middle. You have Huntsman, which is about, I would say, a 5-minute walk. That's the Wharton building. And then it's relatively close to the engineering buildings as well. I would say around a 5-minute walk as well, and also very close to the nursing school buildings because right behind it, it's Fagan Hall, and I believe a couple other nursing buildings are there. One of the cons about Quad is definitely going to be dining, if that's something that's really important to you. McClellan is only open Monday through Fridays, I believe. This year they changed it into this Penn dining sushi spot, so they were open on weekends. I'm not quite sure what the hours are going to be for this upcoming school year, but based on previous years, they were only open Mondays through Fridays for lunch and dinner. So there was no breakfast and they did not have dining on the weekends. I know that was a big con for a lot of people because especially on Saturdays, not all the dining halls are open. I believe only 2 are open, which are Commons and Hill. And so a lot of students, they just didn't have a dining hall to eat from, or they'd have to trek all the way to Hill or just like order takeout. Moving on to Hill. Hill is definitely also very social because it's located in one single building. There's a nice big study lounge that a lot of students are in. They have a club lounge where a lot of events are hosted, and there are a lot of faculty fellows that live in Hill as well that plan fun weekend trips. So you'll do a weekend trip to the Miller Orchards. I believe there was a Six Flags trip. There was one for the Eagles game or like Phillies games, and so there's lots of events that are happening in Hill. And because the rooms are so tiny, it forces you to go outside and meet a lot of people. A couple of the pros about Hill is that it's very close to the engineering buildings. So literally a 2-minute walk to the engineering school, and the chem buildings and all of those science buildings are right there. It also has a dining hall that is open 7 days a week, and the package center, which is very convenient. However, some of the cons are that the rooms truly are very tiny. I lived in Hill myself when I was a freshman, and I also had a roommate. So luckily when we were moving in, we were able to schedule separate move-in days. But if you do move in at the same time as your roommate, it's going to be very chaotic and practically impossible because the rooms are so small and narrow. So you have to coordinate moving in and moving out in order to do it efficiently and also quickly. Another thing to keep in mind is that it is about a 10-minute walk, I would say, to Huntsman. For a lot of Wharton students, it is a bit of a trek in order to get there. And lastly, moving on to K-Check. So K-Check, also known as King's Court College, is, I would say, very old compared to the other buildings. The rooms are slightly bigger, but the facilities are very old. The bathrooms, just like the other freshman dorms, are communal. A good thing about K-Check though, in addition to the rooms being slightly bigger, is that their dining hall is relatively decent. I personally really liked their salad bars, and they have a smoothie bar and sometimes an omelet taco bar, so dining there is pretty good as well. Number 2, Penn apps. So there are 3 key apps that I would download right now: Penn Mobile, Penn Eats, and Penn Transit. Penn Mobile is where you can check all of the dining hall hours as well as how many swipes and dining dollars you have left. You can also book GSRs on Penn Mobile too, and it covers all the buildings and GSRs for you to book. Penn Eats is where you can order online for Houston Hall, which is another dining hall. So you can order ahead on Penn Eats and pick up your order. That's also where you make reservations for Quicker Kitchen, which is the best dining hall on campus located in Gutman College House. And Penn Transit is obviously for transportation if you want to call Penn Rise or the Penn Transit bus. Keep in mind though, Penn Transit can be very slow, so I would reserve it 30 minutes before you actually need to use it. Number 3, NSO, New Student Orientation. Definitely one of the highlights of freshman year because this week is solely dedicated to new students. So a couple things to keep in mind. The first one is preceptorials. Preceptorials are basically these workshops that clubs and organizations on campus will host during new student orientation to get you exposed to various different student cultures, student life on campus. For example, I was in a club called Reach, which is a social media club, and we hosted a preceptorial or a workshop on social media content creation and essentially how to go viral on social media, how to build a social media presence. I personally attended a couple of business preceptorials too. I believe I attended one specifically on investing and then another one probably related to finance or consulting, something like that. I don't know exactly how helpful they are because I don't remember anything that I learned in those preceptorials, but they are a good way to get you exposed to different things on campus as a new student. The second thing is the freshman gala at the Philadelphia Art Museum. Definitely my favorite part of NSO. This happens on the last day where all freshmen, you guys get dressed and you go to the Philadelphia Art Museum for a night of just celebration and pictures. I know a lot of you guys might be wondering, what should I wear to the gala? With ladies, I personally wore a mini dress. I wore this black mini dress. I'll insert a picture here. You can honestly wear any type of dress. This event is formal. Keep that in mind. So wear a dress. It can be mini dress, maxi dress. Some girls even wore their prom dresses. It's really up to you. For guys, definitely dress nice. You can wear a nice suit. You don't have to necessarily wear a full tuxedo. You can if you want, it's really up to you, but definitely wear a nice suit or a dress shirt and nice pants. One tip is that when you are in the art museum, I highly recommend you and your friends walk around and actually see the art in the museum. The Philadelphia Art Museum is truly a gorgeous place to be, especially in the evening when you're all dressed up with your friends. And it's also a nice way to meet new friends because when you're walking around looking at the art, you might bump into new people, some old friends, people that you met during NSO, and take lots and lots of pictures of them. Last tip I'll give for NSO is to try to sit with someone new every single day. Don't just stick to the same friend group because there are over 2,000 people in your class. It can be very tempting to meet an initial friend group and just stick with them because you're comfortable with that. But NSO is truly the one opportunity to just branch out and meet as many people as possible. This is a time when everyone is willing to make new friends and meet new people. So what better time to just sit next to someone new than during NSO? Number 4, the writing seminar and first year seminars. So as freshmen, you are required to take a writing seminar as well as you have the option to take a first year seminar. I took my writing seminar my spring semester freshman year because I couldn't get it my fall semester because everyone is trying to get this course. This is the one course that every student from all 4 colleges has to take, so it can be very competitive to get a class. Next are the first year seminars. So these are optional classes that you can take. These first year seminars are similar to writing seminars because it's a smaller group of people. My first year seminar, I believe there's only about 12 students, and these seminars can range from various different topics and various different departments and usually can fulfill a requirement in all 4 of the colleges. Number 5, club applications. club apps. Seriously, I don't understand why it's so competitive. I won't lie to you guys and say it's easy. It's not. What I will say though is apply to as many clubs as you want. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, only apply to 5 clubs, because I did not do that. I applied to as many clubs that I wanted to, and I probably only heard back from like 2 or 3. Now, here are things to keep in mind though. You will apply to a club and you should expect an interview. Sometimes multiple interviews. For consulting or any finance club, there's going to be a behavioral interview and there's going to be a technical interview. For consulting, it's going to be a case. Finance, banking, it's going to be a technical interview. Don't stress, this is not an internship application or a job application. This is a club application, people. A club, not a job, not an internship. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. But you should keep in mind that every club is going to host an info session. They're going to host other events throughout the recruitment cycle. So for Wharton Retail Club, which by the way, you guys should definitely apply to, there's going to be an info session, there's going to be coffee chats, there's going to be get to know the board events. For Muse, which is a marketing club, if you want to apply to the consulting branch, which I'm in as well, they're going to host a casing workshop to prepare you guys for the case interview. However, I will say for a lot of these interviews, it's very much behavioral. The people interviewing you are literally just upperclassmen. They're not recruiters. It's just upperclassmen. We're students. We are very busy and there's not a lot of time. So honestly, go to these recruiting events, get your name out there. Just honestly think of it as making new friends. I will say though that one of the most important things throughout the club recruitment process is to meet as many upperclassmen as possible, because sometimes if you know an upperclassman and you guys are good friends and you also work hard and demonstrate that you will do work while being in the club, it can be a little bit easier to get in. Take that with a grain of salt because that might not work for every club. Number 6, pre-orientation programs. Penn offers a lot of pre-orientation programs that happen about a week before NSO begins. I personally did Pinnacle, which is the leadership pre-orientation program. Highly recommend. You are going to be in a group of about 30-40 students, and it's a great way to make new friends and have some familiar faces before NSO begins. It's also a great opportunity to meet upperclassmen, get advice from them, as well as hear their own stories and journeys throughout Penn. When I did Pinnacle, it was 3 days. We went to summer camp location somewhere in Pennsylvania. It was very much summer camp vibes, you know, like you're doing leadership activities, getting to know each other. But I think what I got most out of it is, first of all, I had familiar faces. So during NSO, I wasn't as intimidated because I already knew about 40 other people on campus. The upperclassmen leaders during Pinnacle were also so helpful because they gave us a lot of helpful advice and ways to transition into college from high school. They were also notable leaders on campus too, in addition to clubs, as well as being very active on student body, the undergraduate assembly, class 4. So definitely a great way to meet upperclassmen friends and network. Even if you don't get into a pre-orientation program, it's not the end of the world because you still have an entire week of NSO to get to meet so many new people. So just apply with an open mind and don't be afraid if you don't get in. Because as I said before, during NSO, try to sit next to someone new every single day. That was all for this video. Comment below if it was helpful and if you guys want me to continue this as a series. I might do another tips series, or I can do a Q&A session, whatever is helpful for you guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel, and if you guys see me on campus next year, please don't hesitate to say hi to me. I would love to grab coffee or just go on a walk together if you have any questions about Penn. See you guys in the next video.